When you look at the dairy industry, I don't think small farmers have a lot of hope.
It's been in the family. It's in our blood. You don't want to be that one that it just ends at you, because then you feel like it's on you the rest of your life.
The small dairy farm has been the backbone of America's dairyland. I'm Milwaukee Journal Sentinel reporter Rick Barrett, and I've been covering the dairy industry for years. Thousands of those family farms have been sold or forced out of business because of low milk prices, labor challenges, and new competition like non-dairy beverages. The future of dairy farming is being passed from one generation to another in places like Clark County, Wisconsin. How will the next generation of dairy farmers survive and succeed? I visited 3 families to find out. At Rail Acres, you'll often find Dennis and Susie Rail's 3 children doing their daily chores.
What do you want for your kids? Do you want them to be the next generation on the farm?
Oh, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. As long as you embrace the change.
The Rail kids would be 4th-generation dairy farmers if they continue the family business. Younger minds could help save America's dairyland, says global futurist Jack Aldridge, who I invited to join me at the Rail farm.
If you want to survive in the future, you have to have a beginner's mind. Having a beginner's mind when you're 40 or 50, it's hard to go back. So if you're blessed with children, they are inherently curious. One of the changes that I think both you, Susie, and Dennis, you're going to have to be open to is learning from your children. The world is changing so fast, and be open to their ideas. And I think there's going to be so much change in the next decade, and children are just more exposed to some of the technological change, especially at the digital level, that you have to be willing to listen to younger people.
Do you think you'll be a farmer someday?
Probably.
Why is that?
I don't know. I was in the barn since I was 3.
Okay. And Catherine, what about you?
I'm more in between both of them. I want to be an interior decorator and help Jackson on the farm.
I do think we have to change for our children to want to continue.
I think probably one of the things that we're looking at very hard is the robotic milking. That would be, I think, our biggest challenge on the farm, other than financial, is hired help. It's getting people here. It's really tough. It's tough.
And Jack, are they on the right track here? How do you feel about it?
The look at robotic technology, I think, is absolutely spot on. I think the difficult thing is to know when to pull the trigger. I mean, robotic technology is going to get better, and it's also going to get more affordable over time. And I mean, I think that many kids look at you and your parents, and they saw that you were working 24/7, 365, and said, that's a hard life. But suddenly with robotic technology, it is actually going to make farming more attractive for the next generation.
I've been doing it since I was, when I was a little kid. I think I have a photo right here of, me helping my dad. And so I've been doing it forever, but, I still learn things every day.
Next generation dairy farmer Max Malm uses technology to succeed. His family is among the first in the state to have an automated cow feeder, in addition to their milking robots.
My dad and my grandpa, they've allowed the farm to, embrace technology.
They've been pretty open to your ideas and letting you try and get
Yeah, they are. I have to convince them, but I think they trust me, and we've done a lot of things that I wanted to do, and And sometimes, it hasn't worked out, but I think overall, they listen to me, and we work well together. So what you're looking at is our software program. It has your milk production, your milkings per day. If you want to save labor, you want the cows to do everything on their own. You want them to get milked, you want them to eat, and you want them to be healthy.
And how much would it cost for someone like to put in robots?
Well, one robot, I think they're anywhere from $200,000 to $250,000 per robot, and then you have to build the barn around it.
Wow.
So yeah, you're looking at, for a 2-robot barn, easily $1 million. And it's an investment it's a long-term investment, and you just have to believe and want to do that the rest of your life. It's like buying a house. You're kind of stuck with it.
Yeah.
It allows us to do a lot more, especially on the cropping side of things, and just taking care of your other animals.
Well, I mean, if you actually look at the future of the farm, I think there are going to be robots, there are going to be manless tractors, there are going to be satellites looking down on your individual farm fields, identifying which crops are growing, which ones aren't, and you are going to be able to apply the exact amount of water, the exact amount of pesticide, herbicide, whatever you need on it. And you're doing things efficiently today, but in the future, farmers are going to take their game to another level.
Most small dairy farmers are like brothers Chris and Robin Wreath, who say high-end technology is just not feasible right now.
It's like a roller coaster, like I said, you get your good years, you're making extra money, you're paying bills off or, upgrading stuff, but then you got your down times, and it's just like, okay, you just kind of got to be careful financially, what you spend and,
You want to get into robotics or anything like that? Milking?
It's in conversation, it's an idea we're just kind of bouncing around. We're not going to say not for sure, but time will tell.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, it is. Other guys go to robots because it's hard to find a really good employee that sticks it out. Like nowadays, it's basically a good employee is a needle in the haystack.
So what do you like about it? Chris, what is it about farming that you really enjoy?
I would say it's the flexibility of owning your own business, and at the end of the year seeing what you achieved, what you've been through. I don't know, farming is one thing, not everybody can do it. You really got to enjoy it to be doing it, because it's a 24/7 job. And I like farming. Grew up with it, and it's a rewarding life, but it can be a challenge too. Some days are better than others.
Yeah.
You got to be there. You can't shut cows down.
And for some farmers, could it mean that maybe they're not necessarily milking cows for their main income? They might be doing something else?
I think that is true. I think they're going to have to look at diversifying. I think that there is going to be the opportunity for dairy and cheese. But some innovative farmers, in the off-season are growing hazelnuts. They're doing other things. What else could you be doing with the land? I think the advances in renewable energy are going to become astounding. So there's still a lot of open space here, solar panels, wind turbines, producing some energy. Look to diversify your farm. The very farm that we're at also has an event center, and I think that it's a wonderful way to diversify their income.
We have dairy cows, but we also raise all our bull calves, and we feed them out and sell them when they're about 1,500 pounds. And we also run enough land. We own 650 acres of croplands that we can sell excess corn and beans.
For generations, Wisconsin has been America's dairyland, helping to feed the world. But struggles remain. Futurist Jack Aldridge and our next generation farmers say you have to creatively build your own future, despite the sobering reality of disappearing dairy farms across Wisconsin.
We are going to return to small, medium-sized farms that are distributed throughout the world. So I would be cautiously optimistic. But this isn't to say that they don't need to change. They need to leverage today's existing technology to do what they've always done, but to do it better, faster, more affordably, and move into innovative new products and services.
You kind of wonder at times too, okay, how long is a family farm going to last? You know? Like when we get, 10 or 20 years down the road, how many of these family farms are going to be going? Especially people Chris and I's age.
Yeah. What's your advice if you were saying, if you all are going to get into this, Jackson, Devin, Catherine, if you're all going to do this, what's your advice for them? What do you want to teach them?
Well, it's everything is always evolving. So you gotta, you can't be afraid of change. And things are going to change. They always have, they always will. And I think as long as you embrace the change instead of try and stay away from it, I think you'll be okay.
There's still going to be a lot of small farms, and the way our generation is going, I think if you want to continue farming, you're going to have to try to do things that benefit not just yourself, but the community and the environment, your land. That's what the future is going to be.